I'm very pleased to be interviewing Lisa Joy Rosner, who's Chief Marketing Officer of NetBase. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with your background. How did you get to where you are today?
So I've been marketing in Silicon Valley for about 20 years now. There have been 4 different parts to my background. I started in the applications business at giant Oracle in the marketing department. And so I spent quite a number of years working on financial systems and marketing in that field. Then from there, I moved into data warehousing. So I did a lot in business intelligence, a lot of heavy analytics. And from there, I rode in the next wave to e-commerce. And I've worked with some of the largest merchants in the world. I've worked with Sears, Walmart, Circuit City, all types of e-commerce companies building up their online stores. I was the CMO at a company called Broadvision for over 4 years. It's a public traded company. And then I launched a company called MyBuys, which is the leader in personalized product recommendations. So now on to the new chapter in my life. I've gotten into the whole social media space, but applying it to something really very concrete, really very grounded, and that is to help market researchers and brand managers understand the passion that consumers have for their brands and the reasons why they love their products.
So would you say that it's been a linear growth pattern for you in your career? Does one thing naturally lead into the other, or is this a real divergence of what
Actually,
you've been
they've all
doing?
fed off each other. That's a really good question, and they have all fed off each other. Understanding just the basic underpinnings of a company, the financials and the manufacturing systems, but then taking a level up. Okay, I'm selling things, but what's selling, what's not selling, how's the overall health of my business? You do that through business intelligence. And then, sort of moving up to the next level of just the whole commerce process. And part of why I made this shift from e-commerce into consumer insights from social media was that it's one thing to understand the whole shopper experience, but now we're taking it a level back to understand at the product level, at the consumer insight level, how they really feel about a particular product. So it's been a natural progression, and one that's been really interesting and exciting along the way.
So you were an English literature major in college.
I was.
How did you find yourself in the middle of media?
It just kind of happened. So I decided to study literature because it was my passion. And I think one of the things in life is that if you follow your passion, it will take you places. So I started, my first attempt as an adult by following my passion and studying literature. And I really enjoyed it. And then I actually did something a little non-traditional, and I moved to New Zealand for a year when I graduated from college. And I actually worked at a radio station in sales. That's what I did, and then I moved to California. And I was living very close to Oracle, and someone said, oh, you should send your resume to Oracle. They're one of the largest companies in the world. So I sent my resume in. I had done very, very well in school, and they looked for ambitious students. But what happened was my resume landed on the desk of someone in human resources who was about to go to New Zealand. And that's how I got into technology.
Amazing.
I started my career as the administrative assistant to the vice president of marketing. And I watched everything he did, and I said, I want to do what he does. And I made myself accessible to all of his, senior directors and directors, and I got on the job training. And then everything I did from there on in my career was so that I could go do what he did. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And as we talked at the beginning, I've just been following all the interesting trends and becoming an expert in those and building one on top of the other. And when I look to hire talented candidates, I look more for the anthropology majors, the literature majors, the history majors, the psychology majors, rather than the pure marketing majors. Sometimes I hire the marketing majors, but the people that really take the time to study something that connects back to the human condition is what I find makes for a really outstanding marketer. Because the key to being a marketer is to understand the heartbeat and the passion of your customers. We're all people. And if you can understand the people, then you can figure out how to educate them, then you can figure out how to move them and turn them into your customers.